Do you know the secret health risks in the everyday items that you might be using? That's the topic that we're going to address today on Flourish-Meant. I'm your host, Tina Yeager, and today I have a remarkable guest with me. Her name is Katy Talento, and she is an epidemiologist who served as a top health advisor to the White House. She's now executive director of the Alliance of Healthcare Sharing Ministries, and I'm delighted to bring her expertise and her heart here to you today on Flourish-Meant. Welcome, Katy. I'm delighted to have you on the show and can't wait to hear what you have to share.
Thank you so much, Tina. It's a pleasure to be here.
Katy, let's dive right into the basic things that every household needs to begin with to start getting rid of the toxins in the things that they're using every day. What do they need to start with? Because it's overwhelming. There are so many toxins in our food, our clothes, our skincare, everything that you can think of. And you've mentioned some in the previous part of our podcast. So let's talk about where we start and where we go next and kind of the process.
The first place I would start is water and sleep in your household. And so one of the disrupting environmental hazards in our household is all the electromagnetic waves that are in our household coming from our Wi-Fi devices and even just the electrical devices that are everywhere. If you think about human history, this is a global experiment. We've got 5G, we've got Wi-Fi constantly exposed. I mean, these are electromagnetic waves in our field that have never been in the fields of humans in the past. So there's nowhere to escape here on planet Earth anymore, but you can turn it off in your house for a little while when you're sleeping and try to give your body a break. So I would turn that router off. I would leave the devices outside of your bedroom if you can at all. You can buy an analog alarm clock from Amazon for $10, right? You don't need to use your phone as an alarm clock. That's one solution. So try to preserve your sleep so that your body can detox and really rest during sleep. So it's not in fight or flight cortisol bath all the time from all those environmental exposures. And then water. So whole house water filters are very expensive. And so that's obviously the gold standard, but you can get a much more affordable drinking water filter. There's a kind called a Berkey filter that you can just keep in your fridge. And it's sort of like it's kind of works like the Brita filters did, but it's much more comprehensive, a Berkey filter. Or you can buy an under the sink reverse osmosis filter, which is a few $100s and it's under the sink and it's just for your drinking water that comes out of your sink. Now that doesn't protect you in the shower or the bath or when you're brushing your teeth up in the sink in the bathroom. But there are filters you can put on your shower head. You can't always find a fluoride filter very easily or affordably. But there are Berkey filters for drinking water that will get that fluoride out.
Let's talk about children. How do we protect our children from these things that are affecting their brain development and their physical development?
Yeah. So the first thing I would say is breast milk. Start them out right. So that's really, really important. Do whatever you have to do. Whatever lactation consultant you need to bring into your house, get that lactation consultant. And really, healthy latching starts with healthy childbirth. So keep that baby on you when it's born. As soon as that baby is born, do not let anyone take the baby away because the smell of the baby and the pheromones that are being exchanged, the hormonal symphony that's happening between mother and baby at that moment actually is what helps the latching behavior of the baby and helps your milk to come through properly. So, and your colostrum in those first few days to come through properly. And that often is why women can't breastfeed, is because our births are so interrupted with institutional, testing and checking and surveillance and weighing and cleaning. And like, none of that's necessary. None of it. There's no other mammal on earth that delivers their babies and needs those babies to be cleaned or weighed or tested or foot pricked or whatever that we do, right? Keep the baby with you. That will lead to healthy breast milk. Then, after our babies are starting to wean onto more solid foods, get away from all the processed baby food. Instead, whatever you're eating, assuming that you're eating, normal, healthy, balanced food on the outside of the grocery store aisles, whatever you're eating, throw it in a blender and give it to your baby. So they don't need sugar-laden, mercury-ridden rice cereal. That's just carby and sugary, so that their flavor palettes are being developed like when they're 6 months old to prefer carbs, to prefer sugar, to start that sugar addiction. They do not need that in their lives, because you know how hard it is to try to give a 4-year-old who's been, raised on Cheerios their whole lives, as their snack of choice, to actually get that child to eat chicken or fish or steak or, green beans. It's very difficult to do that once their palate is set by all those processed baby foods. So blend up, take your steak, take your whatever, your vegetables, throw it in the blender. If it needs more liquid, add a little chicken broth or water, and it's perfect. This is what a lot of the government nursery schools do in France. They take a perfectly delicious, wonderful, healthy adult French meal and they stick it in a blender.
So let's talk about how to keep our homes clean. Are there healthier ways to clean your house or unhealthy ways to clean your house? We're all looking at that when we're trying to ward off all those diseases and get rid of the germs, but could we be doing more harm than good with the things that we're choosing to do that with?
Yeah. So one thing that is the most wonderful, like all-purpose household cleaner is vinegar and water. It's amazing. Vinegar is wonderful, right? It's how carbs get fermented. So every sort of carbon-based substance out in the world eventually ferments and decays and whatever, it turns into vinegar. So, and all the bacteria come in, and as they're cleaning around dead stuff, they turn the substance into vinegar. So vinegar is actually wonderful. Put it in, dilute it with water, and use it instead of all your cleaners to clean your floors, to clean your bathrooms, your kitchens. There are lots of times when busy moms, they have help that comes in, maybe they hire help to come in to help clean their houses, but you can just give them a spray bottle with, vinegar and water, and prefer to use that, and just keep your sponges and your cloths and whatever. But use that instead of all those bleachy soaps and filled with artificial fragrances. Yeah, that's probably the better path.
Will that actually kill bacteria and viruses the way that Lysol would?
Absolutely. Yeah, vinegar is, it's basically like it's alcohol. It has the properties of rubbing alcohol. If you were to put vinegar on a cut in your mouth or on your finger, like, it hurts like alcohol, right? So it is antiseptic.
Wonderful to know. What are some final tips that you want to leave with the audience today about avoiding health risks and staying healthy?
The microbiome, we're learning so much more now about just how critical it is. It's our first immune system. It's where the happy neurotransmitters like serotonin and endorphins are often generated in our gut first. And so when our microbiomes are out of whack, and they are out of whack because of all these, hazards I've been talking about, we can really start to experience problems. And so breast milk starts that microbiome off right, but also we really want to think about our water supply, our sleep, all these things. So, as you're starting to feel overwhelmed by all of this, right, I would say pick one thing and start with one thing. And you'll find that, okay, you get used to that thing, and then you can add another thing or change another thing. We've taken a lifetime to get as hazardous and sick as we are. We can take a few weeks to adjust to this change or that change. But really, it's important, I think, also where we source our food is really critical. So, sourcing from your local farmer's market, even if it's not organic, the fact that it's local actually has a calming effect on your microbiome. So it's actually your body is one with the earth, right? Your body and the microbes in your body are used to where you live, and they respond better to where you live. So if you eat seasonally with foods that come from where you live, that can really calm your microbiome and restore it. So yeah, really thinking consciously about this. This isn't something that many of us were doing even a few years ago. I think the COVID pandemic really helped wake people up as we started losing trust in some of our medical and public health institutions, and starting to research this more and look into it. I think people are really more open to these messages than they used to be. I think the president's initiatives around making America healthy again and Secretary Bobby Kennedy have really kind of started this dialogue in such an important way. So just starting to think about this and taking a few steps is really what I would recommend.
Katy, I really appreciate the tremendous insights that you have offered today. And I know that you have so much more for people that could get them on a journey that will help them and their families to stay healthy in this day and age. How can people stay connected with you and connect with the Alliance of Healthcare Sharing Ministries?
Yeah, so I can be found on X and LinkedIn at Katy Talento. And then you can reach us at the Alliance of Healthcare Sharing Ministries at our website, ahcsm.org.
I hope that all of you listening were informed and equipped to better live your life in a healthy way and avoid these health risks. And of course, I also hope that you will come back for the next episode of Flourish-Meant.